Good day, everyone. I hope today treated you all well. We had an interesting visitor this morning. The great tit was back. I haven't seen him back in the nest since their fight outside the nest a couple of weeks ago. But he came in bright and early to take a wee look in the nest. Now, thankfully, the blue tits weren't around at this time. They wouldn't have taken too kindly to this at all. But he clears off. He didn't take any material out of the nest. He doesn't look like he was setting up shop or anything like that. So here's hoping he doesn't kick out our blue tits. With that being said, it didn't stop our own little female blue tit biddy coming in and doing loads of work today. She came in quite late actually, at 20 to 10 first off, and she got straight to work. Now unfortunately you won't be seeing everything today, as she actually spent a whopping hour and 10 minutes in the nest today. So even at 3 times the speed, or 4 times the speed even, the video was going to be too long. So I like to keep it under 10 minutes, as it would just take too long to show you all. So she was in and out of the nest on and off all day really. The main bursts were around 9 to 10, 12 to 1, and then 2 to 3, and she even came back late in the evening as well. You can really start to appreciate just the amount of moss this little blue tit of ours brings in. It is getting quite full in there. And with that being said, a blue tit only weighs 10 grams. And to put that in perspective for you, a €2 coin weighs 8.5 grams. So it's only a little bit heavier than a €2 coin, and it's moving all this moss and material in. So it's a lot of work for a light little bird. On the other side of that, a great tit, the bird that was in this morning taking a wee look round, weighs a whopping 16 grams. So that's nearly or a little bit over times and a half heavier than the blue tit. So you can see in a confrontation, when it will come down to it, the grey tit could very easily evict the blue tit. But what the blue tits lack in weight, they make up for in gusto. They really are territorial and are quite bold in their advances. She has one of her little rests now. She always has these little moments throughout the day where she just stops and takes a wee breather. You would have seen them in previous videos as well. I always quite like them. I think it's very cute how she just sits in the nest like that. And sometimes it can be up to 5 to 10 minutes that she takes a breather for. She seems to be getting a lot more comfortable in her nest, which is really nice to see. I find it amazing how much effort, not just blue tits, but all animals go into getting their genes onto the next generation. It's what life is all about for them, and just the time and effort they put into it always amazes me. One thing I didn't see today was our male feeding her inside the box. I hope he's not slacking off. I have seen him outside the box flying around being quite territorial when she's in the box. So he's doing that part all right. Maybe they caught or seen the grey tit in and around the box this morning. Maybe he's on high alert. With that being said, they're the only pair of blue tits that I see around my garden these days, or even the past 3 to 4 weeks. And they must be keeping the male must be doing a very good job in keeping all other males and other couples out, which mustn't be an easy thing to do, as there's an estimated 1 million breeding pairs of blue tits in Ireland. Their population does fluctuate from year to year, but they usually bounce back what they've lost in a bad year, which is great, as they're one of our birds that seem to be doing quite well and is generally quite stable. And I would safely say that it must be one of Ireland's favourite birds. I know they're one of mine. They're just full of character, and you're never bored when you're watching them. So as I mentioned, she's been working throughout the day. It's just 5 o'clock in this sequence, and she continues to work right up till 6 o'clock into 7. She starts winding down around 7 o'clock, but she actually leaves for a little while in the upcoming sequences, and she comes back at 8, beg my pardon, and starts to roost in the nest. So they will do this sometimes. As it comes closer to being complete, the female will actually start sleeping in the nest, and this is the first time any bird has actually ever slept in this nest box, as it's one of my new ones. So it's just coming up in the next shot here. This is when she was just winding down. I thought it was a little early for her to be winding down. So she stays like this right up until 5 to 7. She leaves and gets a bite to eat, and she comes back at around 7:30 to sleep. You can see her, she puts her head under her wing here, and this is how they roost. And so it's the first time I'm seeing this on this box, which is really nice. And yeah, she's still there now, fast asleep. So hope you've enjoyed this one. Until tomorrow, thank you, bye bye.